Hey everybody, welcome to Mining Modern. I'm Corbin, and this is Tribal Boluses. We're praising the God-Pharaoh here. That's what we're doing. So I want to cast Nicol Bolas, the God-Pharaoh Modern, and that's what we're trying to do this week. Very, very simple, as a matter of fact. We have essentially a Grixis control deck with some bells and whistles. So right, instead of just having more removal or maybe a little more card advantage or whatever, we have a number of coalition relics in the deck, as you can see from the deck list, so that we can cast Nicol Bolas or Cruel Tomato more easily, which is also a card in the deck. So I'm very excited about this list, and I think that hey, casting Bolas is fun. We even have Dark Intimations, the little baby Cruel Tomato spell. All the Boluses all the time here, and Tarn was actually nice draw, so we can fetch a basic mountain here to terminate this. This here devil. Yeah, it is a devil. This here Delver of Secrets and a Guru Island. Yeah, so next time we get to play Coalition Relic, which is just so good for resolving Boluses. Or, it's turn 4. Oh my gosh, another one, okay. Want to buy Lightning Bolt or Fatal Push off the top, please? Blood Crypt, not quite the same. So we'll go ahead and fetch out an island here. Get this Coalition Relic down. Now our opponent playing some sort of Delver deck himself probably has removal, counter spells for whatever we might hope to ramp into with Coalition Relic, but we'll see. Next turn we can, either Snapcaster, Terminate, or Cryptic. Coalition Relic helps fix the mana in the deck so much. And it's a ramp spell. It's 2 mana ramp, which very, very, very few cards in Modern do in as reliable a way. Something like Pentad Prism will jump you up 2 at a time, and it does it, for 1 less mana up front than Coalition Relic. But Coalition Relic just provides mana throughout the entire game. And that it fixes mana as well, which in your Cryptic Command Cruel Tomato deck is pretty important. Our opponent obviously here on Grixis Delver flipped the Delver blind on the first turn. Has guys got Kolaghan's command up, so rip our Coalition Relic, I guess. Let's see if we can bait him into main phasing his Kolaghan's command on this Coalition Relic. To deny us the mana. That would be swell, because then I could resolve Snapcaster plus Terminate. Oh, perfect, it worked. And we get to discard a land that we don't really care about. Ooh, Tasigur is a nice one for our follow-up here. I mean, I'm taking the opportunity to get Delver off the table while we can. And I guess we really need to get the other island here. That's still, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of awkward. We're doing this to save on our life, of course. Because it's pretty clear that our opponent playing Grixis Delver is going to want to attack our life. But it does make our mana a little awkward. And our opponent has 4 cards in hand as well. We only have 2. They are 2 very good ones. So there's that. If we were to draw another blue source next turn, that wouldn't be bad. If we were to hit land, we could play Tasigur and have Cryptic Command up. I'm kind of scared he didn't use Kolaghan's command to buy back the Delver. Makes me pretty worried about what he does have in hand. He's got some sweet lands though, that's for sure. Does not have Cryptic Command up himself. Oh, this is going to be scary. Oh, just his own Tasigur. Unfortunately, we cannot Cryptic Command. Torrential Gearhulk, not so good right here. Tempted to... I'm tempted to main phase... I'm tempted to just main phase bounce Tasigur. I'm not going to, though. I'm just going to pass, but... Bouncing Tasigur and drawing a card to try to hit a land drop And if that land was a black land, we could then play our own Tasigur. Is actually kind of appealing because it messes with his mana so hard. But I think that it's worse than just trying to counter something and bouncing Tasigur. See what our opponent's up to here. Well, we have to take 4. Opponent had a very good draw. Double Delver, Kolaghan's Command, and a cheap Tasigur. If we can hit land drops, so, well, okay, I guess we have to try it now. It doesn't feel great, but see if we can bounce it and draw a card. If we can hit our own land drops, we can then Torrential Gearhulk back Cryptic Command later. Okay, not a land and not a land. Man, this is just very, very unfortunate. Okay, so 1, 2. So we need to delve 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's easy enough. See if this resolves. Okay, so we are now in a, oh god, can we please survive enough turns to resolve these 2 Ancestral Vision, at which point we should probably win the game. I don't feel great about that, though. We delayed the Tasigur Beats for a turn, and he actually does have to tap a fair amount of mana for it. But he's going to... He can't Snapcaster Kolaghan's Command, though, so he's just Snapcastering to trade. Interesting. Makes his own Tasigur cheaper. So I guess that's the thing. In fact, we can't hit land drops is rough. Now maybe, I saw multiple lists that were at this number that we have and playing the same expensive cards. So I figured with Coalition Relic, maybe it works. Maybe another land needs to be added to the deck. Not too sure. We also just haven't drawn any Serum Visions or anything like that, and we have the, the turn 5 and 6 or whatever it is, Ancestral Vision rather than the turn 1 Ancestral Vision, which would have drawn us cards by now and put us in a great position. Alright, would like to draw... Well, Spell Snare is not a land, but at least we have enough to activate Tasigur. He's just going to give us back Coalition Relic. Which isn't the worst. The problem is we're just going to die to this Gurmag Angler. Opponent only has 2 cards in hand. And we know one's his own Tasigur. So, we might be able to get there. I'm worried about getting Bolt Snap bolted out of the game at some point here. And there's the Bolt, so... I think we have to take it. None of this feels very good. I think we take this one and hope that we get to block on our next turn. He's just got all can't be spell snare defects here. Four mana, huh? Here comes Tasigur again. Okay, well, I guess we're just dead. Unless we rip something good. Yeah, it's just missing land drops and losing games because it was so frustrating. Alright, Cryptic Command, please. Oops, Snapcaster's a good one. Snapcaster's one of the only things that gets us out of it, as a matter of fact. Snapcaster Fatal Push to kill Delver. There's no reason not to just main phase it. Are we drawing cards? I don't think we're drawing cards for 2 turns, which means we're probably dead. I mean, he's only got one card in hand, so it's conceivable that we can chump block the Gurmag Angler, you know, block his Tastic or whatever. Two, and we're a bit, pretty worried we're gonna die with one counter left on both of those, which is a pretty frustrating way to go. And our opponent has his own Tassiger activations ready to go here. But say we drew Cryptic Command or something, we'd have it out. Alright, something good, please. Steam Vents is not the worst, I guess. I mean, we do need lands. I mean, this is the part of the game we're at. We have to chump block Gurmag Angler, go to 1. We actually have Spell Snare for the Snapcaster. I think we're just gonna be dead though. Give him Thought Scour. I mean, next turn we have Gear Hulk up. So it all depends on whether or not he finds something to kill us. He's got plenty of draws to do it, but we can also hit something like Cruel Ultimatum to you know, pull right back in the game. If he just has a Lightning Bolt, we're obviously dead though. If we could have played this earlier, this game would be entirely different. Yep. It's just very, very unlucky. Alright. Moving on. I think we actually kind of want this Cruel Ultimatum. I like the top end of the deck, to be honest. We draw... I mean, if we just draw those Ancestral Visions one turn earlier, the game's probably very different. The Relic may be a little bit of a liability because of the Kolaghan's commands, but that's kind of fine. Like, I think in this control and control matchup, that probably doesn't matter that much. Does this matter? I mean, it probably doesn't matter, right? But whatever. It's fun. Alright. Spell Snare, like, is pretty good. I think Mana Leak's pretty bad. I think the Engineered Explosives is good. I think Chase is probably mediocre. I think Counter Squall's not great here. It's fine. It's not great. Alright, we'll give this a shot. Staticaster, it's good against his Snapcaster. It's good against his Snapcasters as unflipped Delvers, but that's it. So it's probably not worth it. We'll give this one a shot. That game was pretty close. We were very close to turning the corner there. Could not quite get it. Yeah, it's very possible the deck wants 23 lands instead of 22, but it's also possible we just want to draw literally any card draw or card filtering. Like this. This looks a little better. I'm gonna just get an island here to protect my life total. I mean, it's maybe a little greedy, but because next time we're going to end up having to shock with his Blood Crypt anyway. We have a nice plan to get to this. You know, we have card draw coming up several turns. We have stuff to keep us alive until then. Coalition Relic, not bad if we can hit and land on our next turn. Alright, we'll take down the Delver, and we have Spell Snare for his 2-drop. And then if we can just find a land on top of our deck, I think we will be good to go. And he has nothing interesting. Okay. Hey, we hit a land. Look at that. It may be a little greedy to go for this, but I'm going to do it. Just the payoff is high because of this. And if he mana leaks it, whatever, he's mana leaking lands. Good. He didn't, though, and that means we have Spell Snare up with it. I mean, yeah, him mana leaking a mana source, whatever there, is probably pretty decent for us, so not too upset about no matter what happens there. Ooh, that's aggressive. Okay. Quite aggressive. They might just be Kolagons commanding us here, too. Should be pretty good. We have that Ancestral Vision coming out later, though. Oh, just got the Tassiger, huh? Okay. And the Delver. That's a lot of stuff to have. We can deal with the Delver. A little more difficult to deal with the Tassiger. It's all about getting to this Cruel Ultimatum, so I'd love to hit land on top of our deck. I believe we draw cards next turn. Alright, well we can Snapcaster, get our Fatal Push to Delver. Try not to die to this Tassiger. We have Spell Snare up still, for what it's worth. And we get a draw next turn, I believe. Yep, off our Ancestral Vision. If we'd hit a land that turn instead of drawing this other Snapcaster, though, we would have been set up to Cruel Ultimatum next turn. Okay, well I guess we won't be blocking. We have so many good cards to deal with this, so that either make him sack something or set us up. So lots of good stuff could happen. Does not mean it will, but it could. This is just insane, though. His draws have been so good. 3 Delvers. Alright, well, let's hope this Ancestral Vision's good to us. Alright, I would like to cast it and target myself. We hit no removal, huh? That's insane. Wow, that's just absurd. Well, next turn we can Cruel Ultimatum. So we just have to try to survive till then. Which means I don't think I get to do anything with his Gear Hulk. I could have just cast it here and made him deal with it. But then we would not have been able to Cruel Ultimatum next turn. I think Cruel Ultimatum's the most important thing for us. So we just really would like him to not blind flip Delver. Well, for once. Oh my gosh. And he drew Negate too, which is obviously terrible for us. Feels really, really bad to be that unlucky. I guess we're playing Snapcaster to chump block. That's just insane. We drew 4 cards and we didn't hit a single removal spell. If we hit a Lightning Bolt or a Terminator or anything there, we just get to completely clear his board and probably take over the game. Now he has Negate, which is pretty bad for us. which means we can't just slam the Cruel Ultimatum, which we were going to do, which would probably win us the game. We do have Gear Hulk next turn to try to block. Going down to 6 feels pretty bad, but we probably have to do it regardless, right? We could use the mana from this and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and not have to crack the Misty. But then we're main phasing the Gear Hulk for no value, but we're not getting value anyways. It just means he can't attack with Tasigur rather than us getting to kill Tasigur. I think that's better than just dying to Lightning Bolt or whatever. Oh, look, we drew a Bolt of our own. Okay. Okay, well this might work out okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add red mana. So now I can Bolt. And I would actually love for him to negate this. He negates, we torrential Gear Hulk to get it back and target the Delver again. Him negating, and then we can play Cruel Ultimatum on our next turn. No, in this scenario, we are going to have to... Okay, just let it go, which is probably not the end of the world. I think the question is, do we Gear Hulk... We can also just Snapcaster. Oh, we can Snapcaster Bolt. That's way better. Okay. Well, Snapcaster, target Bolt, block. He'll try to negate to save his Tasigur. He can't even activate this because he doesn't have 2 blue. Well, we have to Spell Snare that, though. So that's fine. Luckily, he only had 1 blue, otherwise he would negate that and then we'd be in trouble. So here we still get to try to run the Snapcaster Bolt plan. Which will still hopefully lead to him negating so that we can then slam the Cruel Ultimatum. Yeah, we even get a block. Sweet. Alright, we might be able to get there this game. Yeah, he's got 1 card in hand and it's negate, so we'll see if he negates his Bolt on his Tasigur. I kind of suspect he will, which means the door will be wide open for us to slam Cruel Ultimatum. Alright, perfect. We're actually gonna do it. It's gonna feel so good. Okay, so what do we need to make here to make this? So we need 3 black. So 1, 2, if we add black from this, it's 3. Yeah, so we've got it. Beautiful. Alright, black, black, blue, blue, red, red. Look at that, don't even have to use the Coalition Relic. Ah, we did it! I suspect this leads to a scoop. So it turns out resolving Cruel Ultimatum generally ends the game, and we did it! So it's not quite a Nicol Bolas, but it'll probably draw us into a Nicol Bolas if the game's not over. Sweet, and we get to buy back a Snapcaster Mage. That feels pretty good. Alright. Our opponent said, haha, nice in chat. Little does he know we spent the entire match trying to set it up. Which is good. We actually navigated this game very well to be able to resolve it in a relevant manner. Oh, the Dark Intimations, though. I'm doing it. I'm going to cast it. Alright, black, blue, red. Because it makes him discard. We're just using it. It's a 5-man discard and gets another Snapcaster back to our hand, and we draw a card. Which was a nice swamp here. So we'll go ahead and just play this Watery Grave tapped. And we have Snapcaster Spell Snare up if we need it. Or we have Kolaghan's Command up. In fact, I might just Kolaghan's Command as draw step. Yeah, I'm going to. We'll get back our other Snapcaster Mage and make him discard. So, man, that's exactly how you want it to go, though. We turned the corner, and the corner was pretty hard turn once we got there. Very, very close. We were down to not a lot of life in this game. Man, we have Snapcaster Kolaghan's. We can Snapcaster Dark Intimations. That feels good. No, he actually did. Oh, nice. Okay. Interesting. He did 2 damage to us rather than buy back his Tasigur to cast. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Remember, we were making him discard, so it doesn't matter. Okay. But we just have Snapcasters for days. Bolas? Oh, I just want to draw Nicol Bolas. That's all I want. All I want from life. Those aren't Nicol Bolases. Get out of here, not Nicol Bolas cards. I mean, I guess he did keep us from flashing back Cruel Ultimatum on that turn. What do you do on our next turn? I imagine he's just going to scoop when I turn Cho'Gath Hulk Kolaghan's Command in his draw step. Alright, so we'll hit his draw step yet again here. Alright, please don't scoop. Please let me flashback Cruel Ultimatum. No! Alright. All I want to do is flashback Cruel Ultimatum. We ended the game with all 4 Snapcasters in hand. I like it. Alright, well, is any of this good now? Man, these expensive cards really are kind of a liability because of his counter spells, but whatever. I just want to take control of his Tasigur, though. Is that so much to ask? I'm going to cut one of these, though. Kind of like Surgical, maybe. Honestly, Damnation's not the worst either, though. Maybe that's better. I'll give this one a shot. We gotta cast Cruel Ultimatum. It's not quite casting Nicol Bolas, but it's up there. And we cast Dark Intimations, so, like, we cast a card with Bolas in the title. So, you know, we did that right. So it's like, you know, that's like winning, right? There's our Bolas. I'm keeping this hand. We get wrecked by him having like an early Tasigur or Gurmag Angler, but we're good against the Delver draw. Well, Servage isn't a Delver draw. I don't know if that's good or bad for us, but... Our hand can definitely get places. We shall see. We have lands, we have spells, so, you know, there are certain things in this deck we just pretty much can't beat, like Tasigur, with our hand as is, but we have outs to that. And if he has Delvers instead, we're pretty well set up against that. No Delver off of this mountain, though. He must have just been digging for lands over there. He went... The first one he went top bottom. The second one he went top bottom. Well, gosh, that means we're getting Tassigered. Or Gurmag Anglered if he has a mount. If he has, I guess he has to have a swamp, which he clearly does. And here comes the Tassiger. I guess we can double bolt it on our next turn. Is what we're gonna have to do. Which doesn't feel very good, but oh, it's just Snapcaster bolting. What is happening here? Okay. This is so aggressive. Yeah, I mean, you got us at 14. Kill his Snapcaster. I don't even know what we want to draw. Coalition Relic, I guess. Third Lightning Bolt is a magic card too. Well, I mean, I guess if it's a Tassiger or Gurmag Angler, we can kill it. We're 5/8 of the way to casting Nicol Bolas Planeswalker. This is going to be a really interesting game. Yeah, I mean, this is probably the best case scenario for us, to be honest. Well, I mean, best case scenario would be having like Terminate instead of having to double bolt this, but... Alright, drawing all these lands, not ideal. I mean, it's, you know, it's fine, but, right, we actually need some action as well. Something tells me we're not just going to walk our way up to... Maybe we are. Okay, there's our own Tassiger. Guess I just tap down pretty low for this. Maybe I just fetch out an island here to do this. Yeah, it also makes it easier to... Alright, well, we get a hold up Lightning Bolt, and we get to play Tassiger, which may or may not resolve here. Leaning towards it not resolving, but then again, it did. I just don't even necessarily understand what our opponent's hand is. Must just be a bunch of creature removal, so, I mean, this thing probably gets chewed up here. Yeah, Terminate, as expected, but what our opponent's not doing is putting pressure on us, and we have better haymakers than him. And we have 5-6 lands now, so we can cast nearly everything in the deck. I'd love for him to just like tap out for Gurmag Angler, and then we draw Dark Intimations. It'd be so good. Okay, Tasker number 2. This is where we want to draw Dark Intimations. Simmergence is not the worst thing I've ever seen here. Ooh, okay. Well, we want torrential. We want both of these. Which means I won't be fetching. Maybe I should have fetched first. We have to take a hit. But then we'll draw Terminate. We can terminate the Tassiger. And then we can Torrential Gearhulk something. Also, if our opponent just plays like another Delver or something, we can still just Lightning Bolt the Delver out of it. And we have Spell Snare if he has Negate. Honestly, I don't want to fetch anyways because we kind of want to hit an 8th land. So I don't want to lower the chances of hitting that land. Plus, I don't want to do myself any extra damage in this game that I don't have to. And I mean, it does look like we'll be fetching the turn we draw the Gearhulk or whatever, but you know, I'm going to put off taking damage and everything for as long as possible, especially given we would have had to make that decision before we had any knowledge of what was on top of our library. So, okay. Well, let's see. His follow-up is nothing, huh? I guess I main phase kill it. Just because I don't want him to get an activation out of it next turn. If he has 2 counter spells, I don't want him to be able to use more than 1. I'd love for him to negate to try to save this, and then we get a spell snare it. Looks like he might actually be thinking about it too. It's about the best possible use we can get out of this spell snare is countering his counters. Yeah, he's thinking about it. Gosh, what if it was Dark Intimations on top of our deck? Buy back our own Tasigur, draw a card, make him sack his guy, discard a card. It'd be so good. Gosh, paying costs. Does that mean he's going to go for it? Oh, but it's a spell. No. That's one we can't interact with, and that's how we die. Oh, no. Our opponent has disconnected, huh? Well, hope he reconnects. Oh, we're dead, I think. Because, I mean, I think what's pretty clearly going to happen in here is we're going to draw Torrential Gearhulk. Our opponent attacks us down to 4. I even main phased it too. We did as best we can. He just had the right counter. We had the wrong counter. Man, that's rough. It's also unlucky, right, that earlier we had. I mean, we didn't draw the Terminates or the cards that would have really done well here. Well, our opponent's clock's at 5 minutes, so I guess that's a thing, but it probably won't matter. If he comes back at all, he's going to come back with time to kill us. I think if I was to make a prediction about how this game goes, it's going to be a very, very frustrating way to lose in that he Tasigurs us down to 4. We have to fetch with the Delta to cast the Torrential Gearhulk we're going to draw to try to terminate it, which means we have to go down to 3, and then we're just going to cast Torrential Gearhulk, and he's going to lightning bolt us, and we're going to die. I think that's probably what's going to happen here. May not matter if our opponent doesn't show up in the next 5 minutes with this disconnect. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and kill the recording. So you can see, though, this is the deck, right? This is a very close game. This spell was very, very, very clutch for him, because if we had terminated this, I would say that if our terminate had worked here, and there were multiple ways for it to work. Either we terminate and it just happens, or he has the negate instead of the dispel and we get a spell snare, and then we just win the game. I think, if he doesn't have his Tasigur there, our life total is still very safe. We get to draw Torrential Gearhulk. He has to have an answer for that. It's unlikely that he does, and then we're just, a mana or two, we're a couple mana away from casting our big spells. So pretty unfortunate. So, that said, we could win the game. He could just not have Bolt, right? We could be able to get Torrential Gearhulk down, kill his Tasigur, and then say cast Cruel Ultimatum or something that doesn't kill us. He's it's not a guarantee by any measure that he's lightning bolt, especially since I think he was digging for lands, and he would have maybe had to bottom some of them earlier. But I don't know. I guess a win by disconnect is a win. Oh, he rejoined. Okay, perfect. Well, we're gonna get to ride the lightning here and find out by going down to 3 life against the Grixis Delver deck. These were 3 very close games. And I've honestly felt like he drew very well in Game 1 and honestly in Game 2. Well, we were able to turn the corner in Game 2. And this game was very close as well. Okay, well, I don't feel great about where we're at here, but can't do anything but play the game to find out and make him have it. Okay, we're just... Oh, feels so terrible, man. All right. Gosh. Oh well, okay. They always have it, right? Whereas we have Lightning Bolt instead of Terminate. Oh man. Well, that's too bad, and we know it's on top of our deck. It's not good enough to win, so that's the match. Good games. Unfortunate that didn't work out, but very close ones all around. So, and we didn't get to cast Nicol Bolas this one, but we did get Cruel Ultimatum, so that's not so bad. So good match.